Hello, friends. So, about a week and a month ago, uh, I sent my first book off to an editor. It's been kind of scary. I don't know what to expect of it, and I'm eagerly awaiting it coming back. It's supposed to be due back to me by the 12th this month, July, and that's like 3 days away, and I haven't heard anything from my editor, so that could be a good thing or a bad thing. It's honestly kind of humbling in a way because I don't know how she's reacting to it, if she's enjoyed it, if I've made a lot of mistakes writing it. I don't really know. I began it as a project for NaNoWriMo in 2021. I called it Light Blessed back then. And after I wrote the first draft of it, I would decided to go back and basically rewrite it and split it up into thirds because I realized I had basically a good setup, I believe, at the time anyway, for a three-act uh, structure for the story. So this first third of it, I decided to title it Night of the Illumination, based off of the events that occurred in that third of the story, and it kind of grew from there. I'm about halfway through the rewrite of the second third of the story, so that I can get that taken care of, and I'm kind of putting it on hold for right now because I'm waiting on this edit to come back so I can see what kind of mistakes I may have made, how to analyze my story a little bit further, and see what kind of changes editorially or developmentally that I need to make because that can affect what I've already written for the second third. And based on that input is what I'll be using to figure out where I'm going to go from there. And I do these weird pauses. That's train of thought sort of deal because I don't know what I'm talking about. Um, I'm a first time author. This will be the first book that I publish for myself. I'm aiming to get it out somewhere towards the end of August, but I still have ways to go with it, and I know that depending on how in depth the editorial changes are that I need to make when that comes back. Um, I still need to go through that with a fine tooth comb, fix the things that need to be fixed, and update the things that I need to update. I know that means basically the same thing, but whatever. And after that, I have to format the book. I've got cover art coming down the pipeline as well. I finally got that ordered and figured out. Um, but it'll be a kind of a scramble. I also don't want to just push it out there super fast, but at the same time, uh, I have no following. Yeah, I've had the story out on Royal Road for a couple of years, both in the alpha rough draft version of it and sort of the beta version of it that is currently being edited right now. And I've got almost no comments on it. Either people don't like it, or despite asking for comments, or what's good about it, what's bad about it, nobody gives that sort of input. So I found a different website called Critique Circle. I'll probably make some videos on that here in the future. But they give a lot of good updates and input for the chapter that I put in, which was the prologue for the story that I've got being edited right now. So I made a bunch of changes based on that. I also made a bunch of changes based on that was the copy I sent to the editor for the preview review, I guess. She gave me some feedback on it. I made some changes. I also used the changes that I got from Critique Circle and went from there. Um, so I think I'm going to change my process going on from here to try to incorporate at least some of Critique Circle to uh, review my story and see what kind of changes I need to make for it. And that might help me going forward. But until then, I've kind of skipped a lot of the process of having beta readers or ARC readers to preview the story that I've got written because I don't have a following. Nobody out there really cares who I am, and that's perfectly fine and understandable. Frustrating, but it is what it is. And I just released the story out into the world as a paid thing, and maybe I'll get a following from that. Maybe I won't. The important thing to me, honestly, is to just get my story out there and I can talk more about it in the future as well. Um, but I'm just mostly sitting here in a holding pattern for a while, scared to see what my story comes back as, and I'm hoping it's going to be a decent result, and that when I hear back from my editor that the changes aren't going to be super drastic, but then again, they could be super distracting to me to have to review and re-edit everything completely from the ground up again would be kind of devastating. And it would also throw off my timetable of getting it done by the end of August, considering I'm already a week into July and nowhere near done with what I need to do with it. But that is what it is. I'm not really expecting anybody to care or talk about anything that I've written, because if you want to look it up, it's on Royal Road. My name's out there, based on whatever platform you're looking at, whether it's my TikTok channel or YouTube or whatever. But if you do, give me a comment or a like or something. Just let me know people are reading my stories. Once I get that book out there, maybe I can make a name for myself. I'm not expecting to make it big on the first book or the second or the third or the fourth or the fifth, but it's just important to get that backlog rolling, because the hardest part of all of this has been a combination of self-motivation not being where it needs to be, partly because I don't have any reinforcement that what I'm doing is useful. And I don't think that I'm a bad author. I've definitely thrown myself into the realm of indie authors, and I've been looking at what other people have written, and I think, and it's all obviously my own opinion about my own writing versus other people's writing, I think I do at least as good of a job, if not better, than some of the people I've read. So I'm hoping I can begin to build something from this. I'm sorry if you lasted this long and have no idea what I'm talking about. That's perfectly fine. It's mostly meant to be me airing out some of my thoughts and concerns and whatever about this ongoing process, and I want to bring that to people to let people know that, hey, everything kind of starts from nowhere, and that's basically what I've got right now. I've got no following. I've got no stories out other than some long ago stories I wrote for a web magazine based on Magic the Gathering. This was a long time ago. It was like 96, 97. So a very long time ago. Very old fanfics. Website's long since gone. But either way, I do have a history of writing. I spent 20 years in the Navy and did some writing here and there on the side, but nothing very serious. But this is literally the most serious effort I've put into something like this. The story is currently 80,000 words, maybe going up or down a little bit, so it's not super long. I think if I format it, it's probably like 200 or 300 pages, so it won't be a long read. I'll find out more when I get to that stage. I'm not quite there yet, but I am excited for the way the future is going with that, and I'm hoping that I can proceed forward with the feedback in a couple of days, and maybe give you guys an update on what I see when I get my edits back. And if you want to keep following me to see what my process is and where I'm going with being a first-time author, trying to get something self-published, please like and subscribe, and I hope to see you guys again in the future. Thank you very much.